All right, so today we're diving into Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, a book that's all about finding purpose, even when life throws its worst at you.
It's a powerful book.
And we're going to go beyond the surface today.
Definitely. It's one thing to say Frankl survived the Holocaust and found meaning, but we want to explore the how.
How and the why.
Yeah, the how and the why behind those glimmers of hope in the darkest of times.
Exactly. Like there's this story in the book about a prisoner who found solace just in watching a bird that visited the camp each day.
Right.
I mean, imagine finding hope in that tiny piece of normalcy.
Yeah.
What do you think that says about the human need for meaning, especially in a place like that?
Well, it's fascinating because it wasn't just about escapism, you know?
Yeah.
These small acts, whether connecting with nature or sharing a meager ration, provided a sense of agency in an environment that was designed to strip people of their humanity.
Right.
It was about clinging to control where little existed, finding connection in isolation.
Yeah, that makes total sense. It wasn't just about the bird, but what the bird represented.
Exactly.
Freedom, beauty.
Yeah.
A world outside the barbed wire.
Right.
It gets to the heart of Frankl's idea
Yeah.
that our primary drive isn't pleasure,
Yeah.
but the search for meaning.
Precisely. And this drive, he argues, is what allows us to endure even the most unimaginable suffering.
Yeah.
Of course, Frankl doesn't shy away from the horrors of the camps. He's very clear that this isn't about minimizing the pain,
Right.
but about finding a way to navigate it.
And that brings up something I've always wrestled with. Frankl talks about the freedom to choose our attitude in any given situation.
Mm-hmm.
But in those circumstances, how much choice did they really have?
Yeah.
I can see how that idea could be empowering, but it also feels like a lot of pressure to put on individuals facing those kinds of challenges.
It's a good point, a crucial point. Frankl isn't saying we have control over everything that happens to us.
Right.
He's talking about our inner freedom, the freedom to choose how we respond to what life throws our way. Even in the camps, he observed people making choices that affirmed their humanity, whether through acts of kindness or holding on to their values or finding purpose in helping others.
Okay. I'm starting to see the nuance here. It's not about pretending everything is fine,
Right.
but about finding those slivers of meaning that keep us going.
Exactly. And that's where the real power of his message lies, because it's not confined to concentration camps. We all face challenges,
Right.
whether it's a job loss or a health scare, or even just the daily grind that sometimes feels meaningless.
Yeah.
Frankl's work invites us to apply this search for meaning to our own lives.
So instead of getting lost in the why me when
Mhm.
things go wrong,
Yeah.
it's about asking, okay, what now? Where can I find purpose in this moment?
I'll be honest, I tried applying this to my morning commute the other day.
Hmm.
Turns out finding meaning in a traffic jam is tough. Well, that's where the creativity comes in. Maybe it's about using that time for reflection or connecting with a loved one on the phone or simply practicing patience. The key is to actively seek those opportunities for meaning, however small they may seem.
I love that. It's about shifting our perspective and looking for those nuggets of purpose, even in the mundane.
Right. Man's Search for Meaning isn't a recipe book for happiness. It's more like a compass,
Right.
pointing us toward a life of meaning even, and perhaps especially when things are difficult.
So to wrap things up, Frankl's message is ultimately a hopeful one.
Mm.
Even in the darkest of times, we have the power to discover meaning.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always easy, and it certainly doesn't diminish suffering,
Right.
but it does offer a way forward.
It does. And it challenges us to think about what truly gives our lives significance. What do we value? What impact do we want to make? These are questions worth pondering, not just in times of crisis, but every single day.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that a life of meaning isn't something that just happens. It's something we actively create. So as you go about your day, I'll leave you with this. What gives your life meaning? And how can you cultivate that sense of purpose starting right now?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's definitely something I'll be reflecting on.
Me too.
All right, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.